2018 Toyota Camry car review. Ever given it arrived for 1983 because first ever transverse engine, front-wheel drive Toyota, the Camry is a sane, sensible family sedan. Over 6 succeeding generations, the Camry executed that mission so well it became America's best-selling passenger car, but also among its most boring. Now, however, company boss Akio Toyoda desires to banish boring. This means big changes to the brand's big seller. The effort got to a tentative commence with a more extensive than usual mid-cycle update for 2015 but reaches full flower together with the all-new 8th generation car. This Camry really wants to party. The good points of 2018 Toyota Camry: more muscular engines, toned chassis, extroverted styling. The bad points of 2018 Toyota Camry: higher prices, still no Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, styling may be too extroverted. Funk factor: to start, there's the styling. In its family sedan segment, it's the equivalent of a purple Mohawk. The new car is longer, lower, and fractionally wider, passing it on a slightly lower slung profile. Up front there's an angry-looking visage marked by way of a pinched upper grille along with a gaping lower maw. The bottom fringe of the fascia flares outward, just like the rocker panels. The shoulder line kicks up behind the spine doors, plus a crease slashes along the pillar and extends time for the decklet spoiler. SE and XSE designs have their own, even busier back and front styling, plus additional sculpting within the rockers as well as a rear bumper that emulates a diffuser. XSE versions give you a black roof. One can argue if the new Camry styling looks better, but there is however no question that there's much more of it. The interior is funkier, too, binning the last slab-like dash for any more three-dimensional design bisected by the wave-like trim piece. The triangular center stack angles toward the motorist, while within the passenger's side the dash curves away to build a greater sense of spaciousness. The gloss black region into that the central touchscreen is integrated provides today's requisite smartphone-mimicking appearance. Nevertheless, it retains enough knobs and physical buttons to make for easy operation. Top-spec models enjoy padded surfaces, soft-touch plastics, and attractive graining, most of which is preserved for mid-level trims, although these get hard plastic door panels and also a cheaper-feeling leader. Toyota's latest Entune 3.0 infotainment system debuts here, as well as biggest upgrade stands out as the company's standard app-based navigation system, which works by way of a connected Apple or Android phone while using Scout app installed to offer real moving maps and turn-by-turn directions exactly like an in-car nav system. Entune's biggest downside is so it still doesn't support Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. The nearly two-inch longer wheelbase helps preserve interior roominess, including generous rear seat legroom and knee clearance. At the same time, engineers lowered the rooftop and the seating position. They also lowered the hood and also the belt line to prevent the feeling of soaking in the bottom of a barrel. This Camry is much more adventurous with color, too, together with the gray and tan interiors using multiple hues, while a red and black scheme can be found in the XSE. Feel the TNGA. It's not only appearances which may have changed, most of the hardware is totally new, since the Camry moves to Toyota's TNGA architecture. Both engines are fresh, also, although their layout and displacements are intimate. The direct and port-injected 2.5-liter inline-4 features a longer stroke plus a higher compression ratio than the prior 4-cylinder. Also, it boasts variable valve timing that may be now electrically actuated for the intake side. Output climbs from 178 horsepower and 170 lb-ft of torque to 203 and 184, or 206 and 186 inside the XSE, having its quad exhaust outlets, a Camry first. A 176 horsepower version of the engine pairs with the electric motor generator inside hybrid. A V6 also returns, even while competitors, including the arch-rival Honda Accord, are dropping them in support of turbocharged 4s. Again displacing 3.5 liters, the Camry V6 produces a robust 301 horsepower versus 268 before, in addition to 267 lb-ft of torque, up from 248. Both engines trade their previous 6-speed automatic for any new 8-speed unit, however the hybrid continues together with the same mechanical arrangement that can cause a soot-tocked. As before, the Camry lineup divides thematically between S Sport and L Luxury models. On the former side, there's the say available being a 4-cylinder or perhaps a hybrid, as well as the fancier XSE 4-cylinder or V6. A new just plain L 4-cylinder only may be the price leader, together with the LE 4-cylinder or hybrid and XLE 4-cylinder, V6, or hybrid climbing from that point. The mechanical changes imply that the transformation from behind the wheel might be more evident than you could possibly expect. The mainstay 4-cylinder is currently the most powerful naturally aspirated 4 within a segment, as well as additional output is obvious. We found it being energetic and well-mannered, which consists of 8-speed automatic partner. Then we tried the V6. Its power output bests all competitors' turbocharged 4s, as well because segments remaining 6s. Only the Ford Fusion Sports V6 beats it, but that's together with the aid of 2 turbos. And yet, these .5 liters output doesn't overwhelm the chassis whilst acceleration unloads the top wheels. We dig the V6's surplus of go, which together using its smoothness and sophistication puts this engine over a higher plane. Get the V6 whilst you still can. That is, providing that you're not postponed by its admittedly hefty upcharge of roughly $6,000. Although that does include some additional equipment, such being a head-up display, a panoramic sunroof, premium JBL audio, wireless device charging, Wi-Fi, along with an 8.0-inch touchscreen rather as opposed to standard 7.0-incher. With either engine, the Camry driving experience continues to be elevated. Toyota engineers claim they have lowered the car's center of gravity by an inch, whilst the TNGA platform brought a big change from a strut-type rear suspension to your multi-link setup. The chassis is remarkably stoic and gamely resists body roll. In gentler driving, there's a newfound poise that replaces the somnambulant motions of the last car. The steering has real weight that builds nicely while you turn the wheel. Even in its sportiest iteration, the newest Camry might not goad you into screaming around corners or whipping by way of a series of switchbacks, but in case you take the initiative yourself, the Camry steals its gaze and plays along. Traditional virtues. For all of the emphasis on getting in touch featuring its wild side, no Camry redesign could completely forget about the model's traditional virtues. Thus, the 2018 version sees a serious improvement in fuel economy. The 4-cylinder enjoys a 5 miles per gallon begin at EPA combined and 7 miles per gallon inside the base L edition. EPAs are 28 miles per gallon city and 39 highway, together with the L tacking on 1 mile per gallon city and 2 around the highway. The V6 manages a 2 miles per gallon surge in its combined figure, with EPAs of 22 miles per gallon city and 32 highway for that XSE and a pair of 33 to the XLE. The real fuel economy story, though, could be the hybrid, which vaults in the 50 miles per gallon bar with EPAs of 51 miles per gallon city, 53 highway. That, however, is with the LA model only. The SE and XLE hybrids earn EPA a lot of 4,447 miles per gallon. Those two versions retain a nickel hydride battery power, even though the LA switches to your lighter, more efficient lithium-ion unit. And having its lower degree of equipment, the LA is lighter overall. We took a spin inside LA hybrid, as well as behavioral transformation is less remarkable versus the non-hybrid models we drove. Its continuously variable automatic transmission still suffers constant droning under acceleration. Moreover, this version's steering and suspension haven't firmed up almost as much as its siblings. This new hybrid does, however, achieve normal brake pedal feel the way it mixes friction and regenerative braking, a characteristic which has long eluded Toyota. And all hybrid variants, irrespective of their battery type, relocate the battery power from the trunk to under the back seat, increasing luggage space and examining a rear seat pass-through. There are likewise improvements around the safety front, as Toyota makes standard forward collision warning with pedestrian detection and automated braking, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning with steering assist, and automatic high beams. Blind spot monitoring and rear cross-traffic alert with automatic braking are available, while a backup camera is standard. That additional standard equipment goes a way toward explaining the bigger sticker prices, which rise through the lineup. The new base L, as an illustration, is $425, a lot more than last year's LA. At the upper end, the V6 XSE has climbed $3,580 to $35,835. With purse increasingly passing over mid-size sedans and only SUVs, in recent months, the Nissan Rogue and also the Honda CR-V have beaten the Camry. The 8th generation Camry couldn't bring just really the same. Being a family four-door is not a great strategy. The time is right for your Camry to take loose.